Welcome to Just Thinking. This is Mary Greendale. The title of this show grew out of a lifetime of curiosity about many different subjects. Some local, some global, and some in between. For each show, I will open with my thoughts and then bring on guests who explore the subject in greater detail. I hope the show inspires healthy discussions on camera and among viewers. To me, the sky's the limit when we are just thinking. Hi, I'm Mary Greendale, and welcome to Just Thinking. The town election is coming up on May 22nd. Most seats are unopposed, but there are a few contests. I will be interviewing candidates for any seat in which more than one candidate is running. I will ask the same questions of all candidates so that viewers can compare one to the other. I have found that this approach works better than a staged debate where people are so nervous we really can't get to know them at all. These interviews will be available at HCAT on television, on Facebook, and on YouTube. I can see you everywhere. Hi, Paul.
Hello, Mary.
Tonight I'm interviewing Paul Healy, who is a candidate and also an incumbent on the Park Commission. And how long have you been on the Park Commission?
I have been on a little over 7 years. Okay. I came in interim, and then I have been on the commission for 2 terms.
Okay.
And I'll be seeking my 3rd term this time.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You just told me when you were elected and so forth, but tell me about yourself, and what do you think your biggest accomplishment has been on this board?
Well, a little bit about myself. I grew up in New Bedford, went to college at St. Anselm's College in New Hampshire, and got my MBA from Suffolk University. I met my wife, Karen, who is actually from Holliston originally. We met in Boston, and we got married and moved to Holliston in 1984. Oh. So I've been out here since 1984. Great town. We love the town. My son Michael, I have a son Michael who is 27, who went through the school system, played basketball, football, and baseball here at Holliston High School. And kind of along with that, I coached the travel basketball program when he was in middle school, and I coached the Little League and Babe Ruth and Senior Babe Ruth all the way up through high school and first year of college. So that kind of is what got me into the parks and recreation. I wanted to continue.
You were there.
I was already there and dealing with a lot of the different groups, the baseball, the soccer, places like that. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. What do you think your biggest accomplishment has been while you've been on?
Well, I joined just before we started the Goodwill Project, Goodwill Park.
Okay.
So I was intimately involved with that. Right from the beginning with all the commissioners. That program really was a good concerted effort from a lot of different groups. As everyone knows, the park came out beautifully. We spent the money wisely, and I think we've continued to try to enhance the park. It's the downtown park, which obviously we want to make the premier site for us, but I think that was the original project that really brought me in. Yeah, it was a major project, and it certainly Mission Possible made it possible, so to speak. You know, they did a great job. They did a fantastic job, but taking process and a nonprofit group and sometimes marrying the two isn't always smooth and easy. But I think everybody worked well together, and yeah, that was a great project. Okay, so why did you pick this board? I know you've explained a bit about that. I think I understand, but... Well, I think once my son moved on and I wasn't coaching any longer, I wanted to stay involved with the youth of the town. I have been a big proponent of the town. I brought friends to live here, so I think I wanted to give back a little bit from that standpoint. So having dealt with the parks in the past as a coach, I felt it was a natural transition, and an opportunity became available. I was contacted to fill an open slot, and it's worked out very well. The thing I like about the parks is it's a very active board. We get things done. We have short-term goals. We have long-term goals. We have a mission statement. We have a plan now that we're putting in place, a 5-year plan that we're putting in place. So we have our monthly meetings, and then we'll interface those with weekly meetings as needed when projects come up and things of that nature. But it's a good working board. We've got a new director and a new assistant director, which has been great. They've come on board. They've taken to the committee very well. So it's a nice committee. It gets things done. I think it gets things done.
Yeah, you're able to check things off the
Yes.
list, which
Yes.
is hard and sometimes in government.
Oh, yeah.
You know, sometimes the list gets longer and you don't get many things checked off.
And we add things as needed, and
Yep.
we're out in the community, we're talking to people and talking to the kids, what type of things would you like to see? We've added a lot of adult programming now with our new Washington Street, which we can talk about in a little bit, but it's a good working committee that gets things done and really serves the youth of Holliston.
That's good. Thank you. So from your own experience, your own work experience and so forth, what are those skills do you bring to the committee? How does that background help you in this committee?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. From the business side, I spent 35 years as a sales and marketing vice president in the high-tech world, so I bring a lot of the management skills. I have an MBA in finance, which helps me on the finance side when people need help within the committee on the financials. But also, I've played a lot of sports. I've been involved in the sports. I've coached, I've interfaced with the baseball, with the soccer, with the basketball, the different programs. I played in the men's league at night for basketball, and we have a couple of those programs going now. So I think it was a natural transition to go into that committee, particularly with the skills that I have in my background, and the aspect that I love sports, I love being involved in sports, I love the coaching, so this keeps me kind of involved with that. Yeah.
I don't know whether this observation is accurate, but I think the men that I have talked to have all been involved in coaching, and I don't just mean for parks. Running for public office, they've been involved in coaching somehow, and it's interesting. I need to go back and look.
Well, I think what happens is the kids grow up, and you say, okay, what's
now
next?
what?
Yeah, what's
now
next?
What do I
And
do?
You want to stay involved.
Yeah.
So I think those types of committees and volunteer work are good.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think it works for the citizens of Holliston, and certainly for the kids of Holliston if we, continue growing people that are willing to come back. Absolutely. Even when their kids have gone.
And I try to get neighbors involved and other people involved in different committees too. I think it's good to give back. Yeah.
So what do you want to accomplish as a member on the committee this term? What's up?
Well, I think this term, we've had a number of recent meetings, is to complete the 1750 Washington Street. That's the building that we purchased approximately 3 years ago. I think it was a good purchase. I also have a real estate background, so I think for the town it's also a good purchase going forward. We still have a few things that we want to complete in the building itself. We've added new programs. We've added adult programs at night. We have a Thursday bus service for the kids, an after-school program, but we still need to complete the inside as far as aesthetics and pictures and things like that. But everybody's been working hard towards that. We're putting in a little field in the back for the youngsters, the kindergarten, first grade, which will tie into the rail trail, so people will be able to come along the rail trail, picnic benches sitting there. So I think that's probably primary on our agenda. A lot of upgrades down at Stoddard, down by the waterfront. We've done a lot of work down there, new tennis courts. We've enhanced the basketball courts. We've done a lot of things down at the waterfront. So those are some of the main things that we're looking at now to kind of tie that all in. And, of course, add new programs. We're continuing to add new programs. This summer we'll have, I think we're employing somewhere around 50-plus people, mainly Holliston people, to run the summer program. So we've added programs. We have the new building. We're improving Stoddard. And then, of course, the condition of the fields. That's our biggest challenge that we always have, is keeping the fields in condition and having enough fields for the kids. That's always a problem.
That's always been a challenge.
Yeah.
It's always been a challenge. Yeah. Okay. So what worries you the most about the Holliston parks?
I think the biggest challenge, I wouldn't say it's a worry, but the biggest challenge is the fields. We have a lot of youth sports, which is excellent, but scheduling, maintenance, weather this time of year, of course, everybody's upset because they're not playing in the fields. Yeah. So we're always looking at the potential for acquiring new fields. We're always looking at the potential, what other things can we do with the fields. We work with the Holliston Youth Baseball at this time of year to try to schedule and get the fields ready as quick as possible. So I think the biggest challenge, even going forward, is going to be fields, condition of fields. Can we get more fields to serve the youth of the town?
Is there anybody, it was for a while anyway, like there was one person from the highway department that worked for the park department. Is that still the case?
Yeah, Bob Nemeth. Bob Nemeth, I can't say enough about Bob Nemeth.
He still does it?
Bob, yep.
Oh my God, God bless him.
Bob works the lights, turns the lights on.
The little Energizer bunny that just keeps running.
He cuts the grass, he lines the field, he gets the field ready, he works with the youth baseball, youth soccer, so Bob is invaluable.
Yeah.
He has been a big, big asset to this committee.
That's good.
But yeah, Bob does a great job.
Yeah, that's great, because I think that is how you stay on top of those fields.
Yep.
It used to be that it was sort of catch as catch can, as I remember. Maybe the schools were in charge of them, or maybe, I don't remember who was or whatever, but it wasn't working.
And Bob is good because he works with some of the different groups, and we get a lot of information for Bob, what's working, what's not working, what some of the issues are. So he's a great catalyst for feedback from some of the different organizations around town.
Yeah, and besides that, he's a great guy. So do you think the work of the committee is transparent to the taxpayers? I'm talking about the process and the actual work of the committee.
I do. We do a lot of reach out. We put information in the backpacks for the kids going home. We have open meetings. It's usually the second Wednesday of every month. We put our minutes up regularly. We publish when we're going to be there. So I do. I think it's very transparent. Anybody can come in at any time. I know Shaw Lively was one of the candidates that came in. He came to one of our meetings last week, which was excellent. I think Steve Bigelow, who is another candidate, is coming to our May meeting. So we have Holliston Youth Baseball, we have the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts coming in and out all the time. So anyone can come in at any time just to sit there and hear what's going on, or if they have concerns or issues, bring them to the committee.
Okay. Who stepped down this time? Inga
Daniels. We're going to miss Ing.
Yeah, really.
She came on with me when we did the Goodwill.
Yeah.
And she brings all of that landscape architecture background.
Stuff,
so she was instrumental in all of the design and working with Macaroni and at Goodwill.
That's a great little park. It really is.
She's sad to leave, but good news is her business is picking up.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Okay. Is there anything that the committee should do to increase its visibility in the community? Sort of that public image or the face?
Well, I guess, there's always things we can do, but we do have a lot of reach out. We work with a lot of different committees. The Preservation Committee, we try to keep ourselves out in the marketplace, particularly with the summer programs and the programs that we have at 1750 Washington Street. We have our minutes up there, so I think our outreach is pretty good. We just did a mass mailing to every resident in town with our bulletin, and the bulletin is online.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of ways to be able to get a hold of us.
I thought the booklet, were bulletins.
I was going to bring it tonight. But
but it was really nice.
It was good. It was excellent.
It was really nice.
And Lisa is primary to do that. She's been working on that for the last couple of years, and she's really fine-tuned it. It's a real nice bulletin.
Yeah, no, it is. It really is. Just from your own personal day-to-day, where do you get your news and information from that helps you in this job or not?
You mean from the town?
Yeah, around the town.
Well, I get the Metro West News websites. I'm also a real estate agent for RE/MAX, so I'm on the town website, the assessors database, and I'll look at the headlines of things that are going on with the town. Of course, some of the Holliston papers that come in and out, but we're also interfacing with a lot of different groups. And I get a lot of information from some of the other groups we interface with. I mentioned Bob Nemeth. Bob's always giving us feedback. Bob's at the selectmen's meetings.
Yeah,
and
Bob's everywhere.
Yeah, so we get a lot of information that way. And at our meetings, we'll take a few minutes in the beginning, and we'll just try to get some feedback as what's going on and what's happening. And then we always have a once around at the end where we can add anything that we want to do to the.
Those are good ideas.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is. Everybody can share outside of the meeting whatever they want to talk about.
Yeah, good idea. Now, when you were talking about how you get your information yourself, when you get something that you think is relevant, is there a way, with all of the open meeting laws and stuff like that, do you find it difficult to communicate with the rest of the committee, or do you have to end up having to wait until the next meeting?
Well, we usually try to wait to the next meeting. I mean, we all take action items from one meeting to the next to get through. But usually when we come together as a whole, that's when we discuss any.
Do you have subcommittees that?
Not really. No, not really.
Okay.
The only time we'll have a subcommittee is if there's something, it won't really be a subcommittee, but we'll bring in other expertise from other areas. But the commissioners work as a group.
How many? 5?
There's 5,
Yeah. I think that's a comfortable size.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Some towns have 3, some towns have 7.
Yeah.
I think 3, you can have 2 people kind of.
Yeah.
But I think 5 works very well for our group.
Yeah.
Very, very well.
That's good. Good. All right. Well, I think if there's nothing that you want to add, I think we've pretty well wrapped up those questions.
Very good. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate your taking the time to do this.
Good. Okay. Thank you to the voters of Holliston.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for watching Just Thinking, and please remember to vote on May 22nd, and please remember that the town meeting begins on May 7th. We need a quorum of 100 voters. One issue that looms large is the DPW's request for an $8.375 million new treatment facility at well number 5 on Central Street. This question also appears on the town election ballot as a debt exclusion request. This means that we borrow the money and pay off the note, but do not increase our tax base under Prop 2.5. It is a once-and-done debt. It must pass at the town election in order to move forward. So please, 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 do your part, participate at both. And thank you very much. I'll see you next time.